All right, what's up, y'all? My name is Ryan. I'm gonna do a little painting today. Unfortunately, I forgot my brushes, so I'm improvising. I got a different kind of brush today, so I'm gonna try something new. But I decided I'm gonna paint a lady because it's usually my go-to. Like, if you know any of my work, I love painting people. So I'm just gonna kind of freestyle like this lady right now. It's gonna look really basic right now, and then I just kind of like layer until I get to like a good, I don't know, finished product. But I would say my inspiration for my work really comes from like people of color. Just simply because, I mean, my mom's a person of color and she inspires me, and my dad and my brothers and sisters. So just kind of like what has shaped my reality. So I usually do a lot of portraits. Sometimes I go back and forth like whether or not I should like do something more abstract. I know like the abstract people, like, you know, like they, you know, there's like a really large market for that. But I don't know, like me doing portraits, it's almost like me kind of journaling my experiences. Like, even if I don't know the person, it's like, you know, just kind of marking a part of history, like something that's happened to me, or a person that I met, or something like stood out to me, or maybe it's a person I have no idea who they are, but like the way that they're looking or smiling or like crying, it just kind of resonates with me, and I try to like, I don't know, capture that. So it's pretty much me, you know. I'm just working on trying to tell my story in different ways, you know, not always in the same way, you know. We're gonna see how this brush works out though. All right, so we got Blob, meet Blob. All right. I'm glad this dries so quick though. I'm gonna let this dry, do a background color. Also at the dollar store, I got this. Never really used it, but I thought it would be fun. So I was like, let's pick this up and let's take this. I feel like Bob Ross. Just throw in some colors. Just kind of wiggle this around, make the background. I just try to go back and forth. Like, if I'm not sure what I'm doing, times like now, I just like start with, you know, the foreground a little bit, just kind of know where everything's gonna go. Then I do the background. I go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until like something's gotta give. Eventually something good will come out of it. That's a little green, I don't need any green. But it's just kind of fake it till you make it. Something good will come out of it. Oh. It's a cool little brush. Alright, so I think I said where I'm from. I'm from Houston. I'm from Houston, Texas. The north side of Houston, Texas, to be specific, to be particular. My dad is from Houston, Texas. My mom is from a little town called Opelousas, Louisiana. So basically both of my parents are pretty country. You know, I grew up with horses and like all that good stuff. It's so funny because like growing up that was normal, and it was kind of like, you know, I wouldn't say I was ashamed of it, but it wasn't necessarily anything to be proud of. And now that I'm older, I'm like, oh shit, like, you know, I come from a pretty interesting background. It really kept me like connected to the earth, and I realized like that shows in my work. Like, I love doing like, you know, home settings, things that feel like are comforting, faces that are comforting, or like memories that are like, you know, I paint things that are super like nostalgic, I guess you could say. All right, so we got Blob. Let's get something going here from Blob. Let's fix her face up a little bit. So what got me into painting? It's funny because like my dad and my mom, they both draw really well. So when I was a kid, like my mom would literally like draw me like these cool little notes and stuff and put them in my lunch kit. Like kids would make fun of me and stuff. My mom would like draw me like all these nice little, you know, elaborate little pictures every morning before I go to school. My dad, when I would be with him, he would draw stuff. I have a lot of cousins and uncles that all are actually really talented. I don't know how I got blessed with such a talented family, but so art has always been relevant, but not really painting. Well, I've always kind of drawn, it's kind of like just for the, you know, for fun. So when I was a freshman in college, I was going to Louisiana State University. I found this plank of wood outside. It was just a nice plank of, it just looked like something that needed to be painted on. And I had some cheap paints because I was taking like this 2D class. And I had just finished watching Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas for the first time with Johnny Depp. If you haven't seen it, you need to see it. And I was like, let me try to, paint this, paint the, what's it called? The advertisement, or, the kind of front for whatever, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, like the DVD cover basically. And I painted it. I spent like the whole day painting it, and after I finished, I was like, oh wow, it's not, it's not too bad, so I was like, let me keep going. But even more than that, honestly, it was really therapeutic. I enjoyed that, like, I was alone the entire time. It was just me and the plank of wood, listening to music. It's kind of like in my own time. It was how therapeutic it was almost like addictive, so I just kind of kept going with that. Never looked back. Right now, again, a lot of times, honestly, if I have something in particular I want to do, I'll draw it out. Like if it's especially a commission, like if I do a portrait for like a family member, if I know someone is very particular about how that person looks, first thing I'll try to like draw it out, and then I'll work on the background, and then I'll start working on the person in the foreground. Where with something like this, is like really kind of like free form. I can kind of do whatever, and it doesn't have to look exactly like the person I'm looking at. I just kind of like put the blob there first so I can just kind of see where I want it to go. So I put that brown, and then I put the background that kind of helped me shape it. And then that gives me more focus on, okay, well, let me fix this head a little bit more this way, And as I do that, I just kind of go back and forth. Fortunately, this paint dries really, really fast, so I can just kind of like hurry up and do the background, let it dry. Do the face, let it dry. I go back to the background to reshape the head and like the neck and like the shoulders and all that cool stuff. But it's kind of a process. If I had to describe my style, it's so funny, like I've thought about how I would describe my style, and I really don't even know. Like it's hard for me to describe even though it's so funny because like I was an art history minor in college, and college isn't for everyone, guys. Like you just don't have to go to college. I don't remember anything from that. I don't know. I would say my style is, I don't know. It's not realism. It's definitely not photorealism, but it's inspired by that. I like to take like the realistic painting and to make it as close to realism as I can get it, but having that, I guess you could say the cartoon effect makes it otherworldly. So I try to make it as realistic as possible, but just kind of put a little spin on it so where it can tell it's something that's not of this world. That's really the best I can describe it. Also because I just feel like my work is constantly evolving, and I really don't, I know that hopefully, I will have evolved soon, and I'll be doing something completely different. Maybe I will be painting abstracts one day, I don't know, but right now I'm still kind of working on my style. So it's kind of hard to say. Yeah, this is a good challenge with this brush right here. I kind of like it. So I'm gonna put a teeth right here, right? So I'm gonna slide, all right? So especially with this brush, let's just put a blob of white first, and then I'm gonna go back and then kind of like shape up around the lips and stuff. A blob of white for the teeth, the eyes. Yeah, it's a process. It's definitely a process. Let's see. Yeah, I literally went to the store. I came all the way here, forgot my brushes. I was like, all right, well, let me go to the store. Fortunately, there was a Jamaican 99-cent store down the street, and they had these. So, never really painted with these before, so don't judge me. I'm doing the best I can here, people. All right, let's see. A little bit of brown. I'll trim the head up a bit. So, let's see. Okay, I'll start off by saying I'm moving back to Houston, and I'm moving back to Houston to open up my own sip and paint. If you haven't heard of it, it's kind of like an interactive experience where you just like come in, someone takes you step by step, usually over a span of like 2 hours. You bring food, you bring wine, and like an instructor will like take you step by step. And then at the end of the class, you'll have like a painting that you painted yourself. You'll be proud of it. You really will, even if you've had no experience, and you can take it home. And I used to work I did that in Houston before I even moved here, and it's kind of funny how everything worked out because the sip and paint job kind of kept me in New York. When I first moved here, I found a sip and paint job, and I was calling and trying to get in touch with them. Like the day after they hired me, they were nowhere to be found. So I was like, all right, well, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And I found Painting Lounge, which is where I work now. And my boss, Kevin, like he really looked out for me and got me the classes, and it kind of really helped me to like get established in New York. It really got me off my feet. And I got away from Houston where I had been working in Houston for like 2 years, and you know, you can't work for someone else and also start your own business. So since I've been gone, I plan on moving back to Houston and opening my own sip and paint, which should be really, really cool. Drop my napkin. So I start my own sip and paint. It's gonna be called Studio R. Supposed to be opening like September 16th is my opening night. I'm gonna be in a gallery. So one of my best friends, her name is Mariah, she owns a gallery. It's called District Art Gallery in Houston. And I'm gonna be having classes there. It's really cool to like have friends who like, have galleries or like are just connected, so you can pick their brain and ask their advice on different things, So I'm pretty excited. It's been weird because I've been doing this for like 8 years, the whole sip and paint. So to kind of take that step, take that leap and try to work for myself or working for myself, it's nerve-wracking, it's really scary, making that leap. But I'm a creative. Like I can't work a 9 to 5 because I have, but I don't want to do it anymore, So that's kind of where I'm at with that. So we'll see. All right, a little forehead, a little bit of cheek. Arm. Oh yeah, gotta make do with this brush. Here we go. A little red. But yeah, it's interesting. I first moved here and I told I was gonna go for damn it, I can't even think of it. Art therapy. I moved here, I applied to Pratt Institute for art therapy, and I got into the program. It was a really, really great program. The instructors are really great and all that, but I just felt like this is not honestly what I want to do. I struggle all the time, going back and forth with like, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Is this what I want to do? Like, cause sometimes the things that you don't want to do that you should be doing, So I'm trying really hard to, balance that out. Making sure I'm not missing an opportunity for being lazy, or is my intuition really telling me like, hey, this is not, not for you. I don't know. It's a constant struggle. I'm sure y'all can relate. I think I need more white. White. Bam. Bam. Okay. All right, her little head starting to poke out. I need some more white paint today. My bad. Some white. Let's keep all this here. So, yeah, that's pretty much me. I don't know. Let's see what. I do this color a lot. I don't know if anyone knows that, but I love that color. I spent a lot of time with my great grandmother growing up, and her name is Rose, actually. And she literally has this color kind of like everywhere in her house. It's like one of her, I'm assuming it's one of her favorite colors because I see it literally painted on the walls, like, everywhere. And her name is Rose. I feel like her house even has like a rose scent. So like, I don't know, it's kind of like really left a mark on me. And so I don't know, like this color being added in my paintings, it just kind of gives me that touch that I need. I just love the warmth of this color, especially against like a good like brown skin tone. It's so beautiful. Okay, so now let me do some lips. Add some lips here for her teeth. Bam. So, being a black artist, is I don't know. Let's talk about being a black person first, you know? Sometimes it's so many layers to being a person of color, specifically a black person. I'm a black American, you know, being from Houston, Texas, like, that's all I kind of really thought it was like black Americans, until I kind of left home and got out of my comfort zone. I met people who looked like me, who were like Caribbean or like Dominican, you know, and so I got to kind of get a taste of a broader spectrum of culture. And it really helped me with my art too, because I thought that there was only one, either are you black or you like African or something like that, you know? And even in my work, I feel like I was kind of narrow in my perspective and how I translated that. And now, like, to me, like, as a black artist, I can really kind of pull from everywhere, you know? Like, just because I'm from Texas, like, I might meet someone from Nigeria and we have the exact same, you know, type of experiences, which I really, really enjoy that. It's really helped me. But usually when I talk to people, especially people who are not of color, and they ask me like, oh, are you like, you know, are you a black artist? Like, you do black art? And I'm like, not really, no. I just do art. Like, I just see everywhere I go is brown. Like, like I said, my mother's brown, my father's brown, a lot of my, you know, friends and other families. So it's not about me specifically making black art. I'm just making art and my world is black, you know? That's the best way I can put it. But I try to make sure that I'm really, really developing how I show my experience, because I know that we all have come from different walks, you know, especially as people of color. And like, I'm trying to like, I almost want to like help bridge that gap, so that way it's not, we all just kind of really understand each other a little bit more. Because it's so much, when you say you're a black artist, it's like, what does that even mean? Like, you paint black people? Like, are you really, as a black person, can I look at that painting and get some solace from the day that I've had being a black person? Or like, you know, the hurt or the discrimination that I felt? Like, what defines a black artist? For me, I would like for someone to look at my work and say, oh, I get that, I felt that, you know, like, I've experienced that, or like, you get me, like, you know, I want you to look at my work and like smell somebody's food, or like feel a feeling, you know, because it's hard out here in the streets, man. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Y'all, this hair is coming together. Y'all gotta bear with me, because I'm working with some crazy brushes. Got a face coming together. It's the smallest brush I got. It's a cool little experiment though. I might try to start like a whole series with like this brush. Bam. Make it abstract, man. Well. A little yellow. Let's see. Brown again. Let's go back to brown. Feel her and good. All right, so this is my abstract finished result. I'm gonna title it, I forgot to put on my bonnet last night. But I mean, yeah, I like to use the color, like a little color placement with like the kind of a play on highlights or whatever. Kind of playing around with the colors more than anything. I was using my handy dandy house brush. But thanks for listening to me talk about myself and my inspirations. You got to witness me do like an abstract painting. But yeah, that's me. Hope you enjoy. Yeah. That's all I got.